As a kid, I was always fascinated by just the most simplest things, and I think that really propelled my life forward. I remember being very into like just picking up sticks off the side of the road or the sidewalk or something and just using them as like a sword or something. Just being creative, and I think that's how all of us were during our childhood. It was just creativity and creativity. But besides the sticks, I always found myself drawn to these little cars right here, Hot Wheels. I just found myself drawn to these, and I don't know why. It's just cars make me feel amazing. I just look at the beauty of it and feeling the power when driving just feels amazing. But today I want to dive deeper into how my love for Hot Wheels impacted my life for the better. As a kid, I really didn't look at Hot Wheels like that. I was mainly just playing with dinosaurs and pretending that the T Rex could beat everyone. But as I got a little bit older, I realized that Hot Wheels were cool, and I just really loved cars. And what sparked this was a movie named Transformers. I remember watching the movie with my parents for the first time and seeing this really cool character. His name was Bumblebee, and he looked like this car right here. This one right here. It's a Camaro, and I fell in love with that car. I fell in love with the character, and I always told my dad how cool he was, and it was just awesome experiencing that for the first time. And that's where my love for Hot Wheels kind of sparked up. I'd always look at them in the stores, but I never really got like the courage to buy one. I was afraid to ask my parents because they knew I liked dinosaurs, and the weird switch up would just feel awkward. But after I got my first Hot Wheel, it felt amazing. I was making little racetracks around my house, getting in trouble by my parents because I was making a mess. But after a while, I kind of dropped them. I dropped Hot Wheels altogether and involved myself in school more. But as of December of 2020, I looked at them. I was looking through any our old toys before moving out to this new house right here, and I found my old Hot Wheels. It was a Lamborghini Aventador, and I remember just so many memories just came flooding back. You know, that first night where I saw the Camaro, where I saw Bumblebee, watching Transformers with my parents, and I think that really just like clicked. It's something inside me just clicked into saying, "This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Be surrounded by these beautiful machines, these machines full of power, with different engines and different sounds." And I fell in love again. And I just kept buying more Hot Wheels until I came across this one right here, the 2005 Mustang GT. I remember seeing this in an ad one time for a movie, and I thought it looked horrible. I didn't really like it at all. I think it just looked too old for my taste. I was into more modern cars, but at the time I was barely getting into this whole idea of the car community. And I actually fell in love with this Mustang right here, the 2015 and above Mustang GT. And I thought it looked so cool. But during my freshman year of high school, I drifted away from the modern cars and I drifted more towards older cars, but not too old. Of course, I still love the American classic muscle cars and such, but it was something that was telling me, like, look at the Mustang again. Just take a quick peek. And after I saw this one more time, I realized how cool these are. For a car that came out in 2005, I think it was well made. Now, at least, not a while ago. If you asked me the same question like a year ago, I don't think I would have said the same. I think I would have told you that car is ugly and I didn't like it at all. But after a while of thinking about cars and daydreaming in class about owning a fast car, I started thinking to myself, how do I buy a car? So after a while of thinking about this, I came up with a bunch of different plans to make some money to buy my first car, and nothing was really working for like 3 months. It was just dead end to dead end. It was like running through a maze and not knowing where to go. I just kept running into these dead ends and not finding myself making the money enough or enough money to make a car. But it was until I proposed an idea to my father that I should start a service-based business, and my dad or my uncle, he let me borrow his pressure washer, and I went around I went around washing people's driveways, trash cans, cars. And after a year, I saved up to buy my first truck. It wasn't a car, it was a truck, ironically. But there was just something about the truck that I just really liked. It was a 2014 Raptor SVT. And immediately I fell in love. I fell in love with how fast it felt and how much power there was in the exhaust and the engine. It was amazing. I was fascinated and I was appalled by this. It was really just something to behold. But after a while of driving the car, or I mean the truck, after a while of driving the truck, I kind of got bored of the truck. So I didn't really drive it at all for a while, and I just stopped driving completely. But after about a month of not driving the truck, I picked up an old Hot Wheels that I had, and the memories just came back. I remember sitting alone, watching the Transformers movies, and my parents showing me all these cool cars and how I wanted a car bed like in the cartoons. And I remember thinking to myself one night, I was this young and this really propelled me to make enough money to buy a car. And I was just amazed by this. And after that, I fell in love with the truck again. And I started driving it more. Started getting more involved with actually taking care of the truck. Because at the time, the truck was just, I wouldn't say it was broken, but there was so many things that needed to be fixed for it to like run 100%. And I think getting myself involved with fixing and preparing the truck for like a good drive and the maintenance, I think that really just expanded my love for cars and vehicles altogether. Because there's just something about working on a truck yourself and knowing what to do. It feels like you really like accomplished something. You feel proud of yourself. And I felt amazing. I felt like I was the smartest man in the world after I changed my oil. I felt amazing about myself. But it's not only like the material things that really just drove me to get a car. I used to have this childhood friend. His name was RJ. And me and RJ, we were Transformers fanatics. Okay, we were the top fanboys of these robots that could turn into cars. We really just loved them. We would buy action figures, posters. We'd even send birthday cards of Transformers to each other. RJ's dad was a mechanic, and I always kind of envied him because he was always surrounded by these really cool cars. I remember visiting him one day while his father was at work and seeing this really nice Corvette. And I was like, where can I get a car like that? Where can I find cars like these in the wild, in the street? And I remember we came up with this plan in middle school how we were gonna get rich and buy cars together and buy matching cars and be the fastest guys in town and the coolest guys in town. And how we were gonna get all the girls because of our car. And after RJ moved, I kind of like got mad at myself because we didn't do anything and we didn't really get to work on this experience together. And after a while of not contacting him, he finally messaged me out of the blue and said, do you want to come over to build a new engine with us? And he lived in Oregon, so I was like, this might not be the best idea. I might have school. But after convincing my parents to finally let me go to Oregon for a week, which was hard, we worked on this engine together and it did not work at all. We failed completely. But I think in that failure, we really just appreciated the work we put in. We put in our all, everything, every ounce of energy we put into the engine. And even though it didn't work, it felt amazing that we actually tried. We tried our hardest. And I think that just really just put us closer together. And after getting the Raptor, I messaged him about the Raptor, and we took it on a couple drives. when he came to visit. And after I added some new parts to add more power, I added a cold air intake, a new exhaust system. Uh, I kind of I kind of just forgot about everything we did together, and I kind of just left them alone, and I never showed them the truck after that. And it wasn't until around February that I got a message from his mother that he had passed in a bike accident. So after that, I regretted everything that I didn't do. I regretted not showing him the truck. I regretted not bonding closer together. And then I remember going back home one day after a while of the news that I got. I remember looking at my shelf right here full of cars. It's full, and just the memories came flooding back. Every single time we even talked about cars, I just remembered everything. And in a sense, I felt like he was still there. He was still there watching me drive. He was still there in the passenger seat. And I think that just motivated me more to, get more involved, to show him that I could really do this. And a week later, I decided I wanted to do something for my friend. I asked his father to ship us the engine that we couldn't fix, and I ended up fixing it myself. And it was all towards RJ. And if he could see that what I've done, I think he would be proud. But I wish we could have done it together. So my love for cars, or Hot Wheels in this sense, has evolved into a love for cars and the automobile industry. And I think that really just positively impacted my life. It motivated me to make money, to buy my first truck, to do all these sorts of things, to learn how to build cars and build engines. And in that way, it makes me feel really proud about myself. I just really love every aspect of this, and I'm so glad that I picked up the Hot Wheels and I watched that Transformers movie.